All right, I'm joined in the studio here with V-Trigger. Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
Doing pretty well. You?
Pretty good.
Good.
Awesome.
Would you like to introduce all yourselves?
Yeah, sure. My name is Anthony. I am the drummer of V-Trigger.
My name is Joey. I am the bassist of V-Trigger.
I'm Julian. I do vocals.
And I'm Brendan, and I play guitar.
So when and how did V-Trigger initially form?
I'd say probably 3 years ago.
Yeah, probably about 3.
Yeah.
We had an old band called Half Pace, and we would play in the area a lot, and we just kind of stopped playing shows with that, and we kind of formed like a different kind of band. We were all playing different stuff, and just kind of turned out for the best.
Yeah,
So-
me and him kind of like traded positions.
Yeah, vocals and bass, going back and forth.
So it's kind of been you four for quite a few years, even before V-Trigger.
Oh, yeah.
For a long time.
Since high school, we've been playing music together forever, basically.
So since you've been playing for years, what was the first song you kind of got together and was like, hey, we're going to jam this song out, see how it feels?
Whoa.
That was
Interesting.
I feel like that was Noise Box.
Yeah. I
It was
think
a
that
nice
was
song.
Like way back then.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we used to practice in his hot attic, and we would just go for it, and we would just write different breakdowns and stuff like that, and we would play the song like 100 times once we kind of figured it out, and we just keep playing, and we finish it off, and we'd be like, "You guys want to play it one more time?" And that way we would just go for it again.
It was really interesting because like my parents, we would just go in the attic and just play this music. We would just jam out, screaming,
Yeah, wow.
at the top of our lungs.
While his whole family.
Yeah, well,
was
my
just
whole family was
downstairs.
like downstairs, and my parents were cool about it. They did not care at all, man. They were really cool about it,
Very nice
and
people.
props to them for letting a bunch of young high schoolers make some metal music in the attic,
and yell nonsense.
Yeah, and yell nonsense.
For sure.
So who would be like your influences? What bands?
A lot of California like power violence bands. Like there's a band called Antichrist Demon Core out there. We have like Magnum Force is really cool. Just a bunch of really intense, really powerful bands for sure.
We definitely have like a very wide variety of music that we all listen to.
Yeah.
And even like
you know.
Turnstile, modern punk, stuff like that. I
Yeah,
think we take a lot of influence from that as well.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So for anyone who hasn't seen you live, how would you describe like a typical live show?
Okay.
It gets a little weird and wild. So we kind of have two sections with it. We're us, like as you see us now, and we'll play all of our original songs that we have, and we're really fast paced, really intense. I'd say we kind of roll around, act crazy, and then we go to a second phase where we all change. We have a YouTube show we do, and we all change into wrestlers. And then we play a bunch of wrestling cover songs, and then we actually wrestle each other at the end. So
Yeah, we just look like a bunch of shirtless idiots.
yeah,
Hit each
pretty
other with
it's
It's a
chairs.
lot of fun.
it's pretty shocking.
Just the dynamic. It's just instantly, going from a hardcore band, and then everyone in the audience is like, all right, what's happening now?
Yeah.
And
Like we
as
just
we're all
go
changing gear,
Yeah, we
start throwing chairs around.
yeah, we go behind the curtains and like people will say it's fake. Haters will say it's fake.
Haters will say it's fake.
I have holes in my back from a tack strip, so there's a price to pay for sure, but it's well worth it for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
So from the get-go, did you know that you wanted to incorporate wrestling into your live sets?
We actually, not at first, I'd say. We started off doing we just kind of would play our original songs. We definitely started off doing wrestling covers because we watched a lot of wrestling for the most part. But then eventually we just kind of started doing wrestling moves to each other at the end of the set, just for kind of like a shock factor thing to to each other dressed as now. And then one
got
day-
out of hand.
Got out of hand. We all made our own characters, and we put the camera on and just started going for it.
So are there any favorite wrestlers of yours?
Shawn Michaels.
Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega, that's where our name is from, for sure.
For sure. It's
Stone
like
Cold.
CM Punk.
CM
and
Punk, best in the world.
Shawn Michaels. DX is the best duo though.
DX, absolutely.
So did you guys ever wrestle profession?
No.
In high school, really?
No, not specifically.
Yeah,
we used
no.
to mess around in our friend's basement back in high school. We would just watch wrestling and then do wrestling moves to each other, and it just kind of just kind of goes with it. It's all a good thing, I'd say. But nah, none of us are really professionally trained at all.
Which could be really bad, but you know.
But if anyone asks, we are.
Yeah, we have a friend that is, so like
That counts.
shows us stuff
That
sometimes.
counts.
Yeah, just not on paper.
And so you already have, was it a full length, a single, and an EP of wrestling covers out right now?
The full length is kind of like a demo of like basement recordings we did. That's all originals for the most part. They're all really short.
Well, we do have DX on there at the end.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
do have
yeah,
DX on there
DX
too.
cover.
We have the single out as well, and then we're actually releasing a new album, an EP actually with 4 songs, probably within the next week or two. So a lot more music to come.
And the new EP is pretty much, it's all recorded?
Yep,
Oh, yeah.
actually
Oh,
just
yeah.
finished the last of it yesterday.
Yep.
This guy.
Even though we've been recording for like 6 months.
Yeah.
It's been a long process.
So like
Four
sometimes the recording process can be long. It's like
Oh,
you get
yeah.
one take in, you're like, I didn't like that take.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then
Sure.
you come later down the road and you realize later you don't like it and start over and a lot of different stuff.
So what has been your favorite song that you did record and you try to play live about any time that you go out and do a show?
There's a lot of different ones.
Bosch Powerbomb is
Bosch
pretty
Powerbomb.
good.
Bosch Powerbomb, like 20 seconds of just nonsense.
Very fast.
Yeah.
I like one of the new ones that's going to be our new EP,
Oh, yeah.
NWO. It's a
That's-
really good
yeah,
one.
My favorite song we've written.
Yeah, it's real good. Love it. So, good music to come. It's coming. It's been a while since we've
It's coming,
actually
we promise.
put anything out, but it's coming.
Looking back on past shows, would you say you've had a favorite show that you've played?
Hmm.
Oh wow.
It's a tough one.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
is a
really
tough
good question.
That is a tough one.
Honestly, I would say one of my favorite ones. We played with this band called Dismal Dream. They're from Alabama,
Oh yeah.
but we made really good friends with them. We played with them back in August.
Mhm.
It was in Akron at the Rialto Theater. It was a lot of fun. Had a few parking lot beers and then went and played. It was cool.
Meeting the other bands is usually the best part, especially
Yeah.
you click with them and you can just goof off before the show, and you just get like a sense of you guys are both there for the same reason. And, it's very nice.
Yeah. We used to play a boatload of like house shows,
Oh yes.
basement house shows, and
Yeah.
those will always hold a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Just having like a bunch of our friends, people we don't know, just
Yeah.
being in a basement.
We had a buddy he would let us play at his house all the time back in the day, and his mom just kind of was like, whatever.
We'll just let it happen.
Full cards, 3 band shows.
Yeah, throw all these shows in my house. I don't care. Like the one time we had literally like 300 people in this dude's house,
That's
and it was
wild.
like shoulder to shoulder. Cops came. It was crazy. That was probably like the most remarkable show like we've had, because like I was meeting people from like Athens and people from like Euclid, and I remember that day that we planned that party. I just remember sitting in our friend's mom's car, and all of our phones were just blowing up because we had promoted this party for like 6 months ahead of time, and so we just looked at each other and we're like, oh crap. Like, what do we do? It's like,
We're in over our heads.
it's too late to like stop it now. So
It was fun.
let's just go.
Yeah, it's fun.
Good times.
So you mentioned the wrestling side. Does that always deal with the music?
We definitely we do a lot of like wrestling covers and stuff like that. So the music definitely always has a part in it. We'll kind of like change it up a little bit, but for the most part, after we do it at the very end of the set. So at the once it hits the border, we're done doing music, and then we just go right to wrestling and hitting each other and all that crazy stuff, and people's basements and getting bumped up on the concrete and all that crazy stuff.
There was only one show where we did wrestling without playing music first. Just the stage got rained out, and we're just like,
yeah.
"Oh, you guys want to do the wrestling?" And he was like, "Yeah, let's go for it. Let's do it. We came here for a reason."
It was like 2 hours out. The power was completely out, and it was
Just
not coming back
pouring
on.
down.
Yeah, it was bad.
Everybody just looked at us like, why are these guys wrestling?
What's going on?
You got any upcoming shows or future plans? You mentioned the EP that's coming out soon.
For sure. So The EP's coming out very soon. We're probably going to be playing October 26th again at this place called The Shack, the same place that got rained out. Really cool spot. Going to be doing some more wrestling stuff there too. But for the most part, we're kind of taking a break from shows at the moment. We kind of want to record a little bit more music than just the EP, just to kind of have it locked and loaded.
And for people that want to maybe contact you or keep up with you on social media, how can they reach out on that?
So probably the best way is our Facebook, V-Trigger. The messages go right to like our phone, so that's definitely a good one. We have an Instagram, VTrigger_OH. We just made that one, so we're kind of trying to get people on there. And then we have Twitter at VTrigger_HC, I think. Hopefully that's right. But yeah, any social media is usually kind of the best way to reach us, I'd say.
And then where can they find your music to listen to?
Bandcamp.
Bandcamp.
And YouTube.
Yep,
Yeah.
Bandcamp and YouTube for the most part. The new one we're going to get on Spotify and Apple Music once the process rolls through.
And is there anything else you'd like to mention that I maybe didn't hit on?
We just came out with the last episode of our second season of our wrestling show on YouTube. That is V-Trigger Pro Wrestling. So if people could check that out, that'd be cool. Just really excited for the upcoming EP.